Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's only me again, and you've probably guessed it, we're out doing some more metal detecting. So today I am in some absolutely wonderful arable fields. We've got a mixture of ploughed soil behind us, which we probably won't be going into today because it's a little bit like a mud bath, but we've got some really nice stubble fields around here as well. The fields are quite promising because there is a couple of Romano-British enclosures in them, so potentially some good finds are going to come out today. And I'm also with two great guys today. Of course, we've got Sam, Mr. Tweed, the infamous Mr. Tweed, and I'm also with Tom from the YouTube channel, Bigfoot Finding. He's with us today as well. So we've got three guys, a lot of fields to do. Hopefully we're going to get some good stuff. And as soon as we do, you guys are going to see it first. So that leaves me to say thanks very much for watching. And of course, if you do like the channel and you like what I do, please consider subscribing below. And if you like the permission today and you want to see me come back, then give us a thumbs up. I just want to have a quick special mention to Paul Carter, who very recently left me a coffee. Thank you very much, Paul. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to you online, and yeah, really appreciate the comments and thank you for the support. But that's enough talking, guys. We've got a lot of digging to do. We've got about 4 or 5 hours, so hopefully we get something good, but I'll see you on the first hole. Oh wow, guys, I honestly can't believe my luck here, because I've been detecting for what, 5 minutes. I've come into one of the stubble fields, which is basically just adjacent to that ploughed field where I recorded my intro, and I did actually try and detect that ploughed soil, but because it's only been cultivated and it hasn't been drilled or rolled, it was quite uneasy going on the foot, so I thought, oh, I'll just move in here off the ploughed field onto this stubble. And within a couple of minutes I had a signal. It was 85 on my DS2, and wow, I think I've just gone and found a very, very small hammered coin. Yeah, it's definitely silver. It's definitely, do you know what, like, this is a very thin coin, but I've just caught a glimpse of a head on the back here of the coin, and it strangely looks like it's a young Queen Victoria, which essentially would make this a silver 3p. But what's really confusing me is it's very, very thin. So it's like it's a very, very worn coin. So this is either a very small hammered coin, or it's a Victorian 3p. But either way, first target in this field, guys. I mean, honestly, couldn't believe my luck. We're in straight away on the silver in this stubble field. And what a cracking target. It was only a couple of inches below this old plough soil. And yeah, we've straight away gone in on a wonderful piece of silver. How cool, how cool. I wonder what else we're going to find. This is quite an interesting little item actually, guys. So it's made of copper alloy, and yeah, it was giving off a signal on the DS2 at around sort of 83, something like that. So quite a typical copper alloy type of VDI number. But as you can see, it's got a hole at one end, and it's kind of long with a diamond shape, and then at the other end it's almost like a sort of point. And if you look at the point, it's got a slight bend in it. And I think this is possibly like an old book clasp or something like that, because it's too thin and datey to be anything to do with furniture. So it's more likely that this attached to some type of book, and it was a way of you know, clasping the book together so that the book just didn't fall open when it was in travel. Lots of old books had book clasps. They were quite popular, really, but I couldn't really tell you how old this one is, but it is definitely quite a cool little find. It's pretty significant, really, and it's not bad for my second find at all. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that. A nice little copper alloy book clasp. Maybe I can find the other side, but we've got to keep going to find out. Okay, so we found what appears to be some type of bracket of some kind. It looks relatively modern, unfortunately, guys. It's got a hole in it at the top, lots of copper in it, which makes me think it's relatively modern. So it's very likely that this is actually off a piece of farm machinery or something like that, which is a bit of a shame, because it was a really nice sounding target, but they can't all be goodies, I'm afraid. These fields are relatively quiet fields. I have been in these fields before, probably about a year and a half ago, with a guy called Chris. I'll put the link to the video that I made up in the corner here. But yeah, there's like a Romano-British enclosure in the field just over the hedge there. And I've only ever been in here once, because it's just been seeded and seeded pretty much every time I've wanted to come in here, so I couldn't get in here. But obviously at the moment they've left it in stubble, which has given me a great opportunity to actually get in here and do some of these fields with a bit more detail. And I remember the very first time I came in here with Chris, the targets were very few and far between. We managed to get quite a good, you know, couple of finds when we were here, but we really did push for a whole day to get some good stuff. And at the moment I'm in a completely different field to where the Roman enclosure is as well. So yeah, it's pot luck, but as I say, we've got a few hours left. The sun's shining, the birds are singing, the view is just outstanding. So do you know what, if we don't find anything today, it will be a true gift just to be out on a glorious day like today. It's a really nice little 87 target there. Sounds really nice. It's got a little grunt to it, but I think that'll be worth a dig. Let's give it a go, guys. You never know until you try. So let's see what we've got. Now that's the good thing about detecting in old stubble fields like this, is that digging is obviously really easy. Not much digging to be done at all, really. Yeah, this target has gone from sounding really nice to sounding really dodgy now. So that very subtle little sort of iron grunt that was at the end of that first initial 87 on the VDI might be telling us something, but let's see if we can find it. So the other benefit of detecting in nice loose ploughed soil is that it's really easy to find your targets as well, because they just kind of fall out of the ground. Now, as I'm saying that, I'm having a lot of issues trying to find this target, so don't always listen to what I say. Yeah, I have no idea where that's gone. Let's see if we can find it. Ah, it's because it's over here, that's why. Where are you? Here we go. Yeah, no need to use a pinpointer in a nice ploughed field. Here we are. And what do we have? I think it's a piece of modern rubbish, that. Which is a shame because it's a nice solid piece of metal, but it's unfortunately threaded on the inside. So it's likely to be a piece of artillery shell because it's quite a solid kind of bronzy type material. Bit of weight to it, threaded on the inside. Unfortunately, just a load of rubbish. But let's keep going, see what else comes out. Okay guys, so I've got another little target down here. Oh wow. Oh wow. Just gone and found a little buckle. But I think this is quite an early style buckle because it's a single loop buckle. And it's got some really, really cool kind of points on it as well, which would lead me to think that this is highly likely a medieval buckle. It's either late medieval, possibly maybe even Tudor, something like that, but it's certainly an early one. Because the earlier ones did have kind of this design. It had a single sort of pillar here, and the points are really nice. I can almost see a bit of red decoration on it, but I can't tell whether or not that's the copper coming through underneath the patina, or whether or not there's actually red paint on it. So I'll have to clean this one up a little bit, guys, but potentially we have just found a little medieval buckle, which could be 500, 600, 700 years old, which is really, really cool. So we're just making our way over to Mr. Tweed. Oh, I made a jingle for you, Mr. Tweed. Do you want to hear it?
Did you? Go on then.
Goes, who needs a trusty steed when you've got Mr. Tweed?
I like that.
You like that,
you
don't
should
you?
trademark that.
Could trademark that, yeah.
Now we just need to get someone who can sing to sing it.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's what you get when you're alone in the field for a long time.
God, you must be bored.
What have you found then, mate?
Oh, bugger. Nothing much. It's been few and far between, as you know. Got a few little bits. Mainly, the main bits I want to show you are these 3 little miscellaneous blobs. So there's a little ring there. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's copper alloy, because it's given a signal in the 80s on the DS2, and I don't think it's got rust on it. It feels like it might be copper alloy. So God knows what that could be. It's sort of a right angle on one of the ends. It's like a little one of those little pinpoints you put on Google Maps.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Then there's this little 3-holed domed thing, which again looks fairly old. The holes are not quite central. You suggested earlier it might be something to do with the furniture fitting, perhaps, which would make
maybe
sense.
Yeah, I mean, somebody online might know exactly what it is, but we can only really speculate, can't we? But I just thought, maybe the 3 holes meant that it fits to some type of drawer or something like that.
It makes sense. I mean, I can't think of what else it could be. But yeah, fairly old. And then this part of again, probably a bit of a furniture fitting or a decorative buckle or something.
See, I quite like that. I couldn't tell you what it is, but I like it. It just looks interesting, doesn't it?
And I've had a couple of horse brasses as well. So I've had a nice big rectangular one. I think it's got a letter on it, possibly a V. I might be holding it upside down for the camera, but I've not cleaned it up yet.
Oh yeah.
And I've had...
so they were from like work horses, weren't they? So they were from like the horses that ploughed the fields.
Yes.
Essentially, they had those kind of like on their straps, and it was a way of identifying them because they were really important horses, weren't they? They were obviously really important because they had to plough the fields, and if you didn't plough the fields, you had no food to eat.
Yeah, and I was actually at a pub just a few days ago, and on the wall they have a complete horse. Is it called sort of bridle? Like a head, leather head collar for a horse, and it had. I took a photo of it actually. I need to show you. Had about 8 of these on.
No way.
It had several of the small circular, oval ones, and it had a load of the small rectangular ones as well. And yeah, I'd never really thought about where they would have been placed and what they would have looked like. But these were obviously kept in a barn for hundreds of years, and they've shined up the brass on it, and it looks really, really nice.
Some people actually collect them, don't they? The antique ones. A lot of the ones that we find have the sort of italic letters on, don't they?
Yeah.
To indicate the sort of first letter in the name of that horse, I would imagine.
Yeah, I need to clean that one up, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, a few nice bits, and then just a random piece of bronze again with 3 lines in it. It looks like it's been hit by something and broken.
So that is shrapnel. That is the driving band off of an anti-aircraft.
Right.
Yeah, basically it's the bit that they used to put around the actual shell so that it fit in the barrel really snugly.
Oh, okay.
And the lines are the scoring lines from when it were fired.
Oh, right, so that would have just gone boom in the sky, and thousands of pieces like this would have
just dropped off, and landed everywhere. They sort of literally litter the landscape everywhere in the UK. Those things. It's
that makes sense, to be honest. Yeah, God, that's a heavy old bit of metal. So that would have that would have hurt if that hit you.
Definitely. How cool, guys! Just had a really cool little find down in the sort of bottom, well, working my way towards the bottom corner now, yeah. But do you know what? So at first I found this, and I just thought it was like a crusty, Georgian penny or a Victorian penny, so I didn't really think much of it. But just as I was kind of cleaning it off, just getting ready to put it into my finds pouch, I just saw something on it. And it sort of intrigued me, because I thought, well, actually, this can't be a Britannia coin. And what I actually spotted on there was a little fleur-de-lis. And it literally, you can just see it now. So I have cleaned this up a little bit because I wanted to get as much detail from this coin as possible. And it's sort of brought out a little bit more detail, although I wouldn't say that it's brought out a huge amount, because obviously it's been rolling around in this ploughed soil for obviously many years. But what I think I've found here is actually a jetton, and I think it's a French medieval jetton, but I can't see enough detail on it to be able to work out exactly what type it is or how old it is, or maybe even if it is a French jetton. But it does have a fleur de lis, so I would have thought that most jettons that were French would have that motif on. I'm not 100% sure, guys. I'll have to research this one when I get back home. And if anyone watching the video can spot any detail on it that I can't, then please do comment below, because I would certainly love to find out as much out about this jetton as humanly possible. I mean, it could even be a token or something like that. So jettons are quite interesting, because essentially they were like a form of temporary money, and they were kind of minted in a bit of a hurry, and they were, yeah, just used when sort of precious metals weren't really in abundance. So people were kind of given jettons and said, look, you know, use these rather than us have no coinage and the whole economy just go bust. Jettons were kind of brought into circulation, but they went out of circulation quite soon afterwards when more of the sort of silver coins and things came in. So yeah, they're really rare. They're quite rare little coins to find. But I'm so lucky I spotted that little fleur de lis on this one, because it has got some nice detail on there, and hopefully I can get a little bit more detail from it when I get home as well. But yeah, probably 1400s I would say, but it's hard to tell with that amount of detail on there, guys. But it's still a really cool little find, really special. Yep, little medieval jetton. Okay, I've had something pretty interesting on this target, guys. Now, at first I thought this was complete junk. It was absolutely caked in mud, and yeah, I could see like a lot of copper coming through on it, and I thought, oh, it just looks like a piece of scrap metal. But luckily, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to give it a little clean with my toothbrush, and I cleaned it and cleaned it and cleaned it, had to squirt it with some water, and yeah, some really cool decoration on this. So what do I think it is? I'm not 100% sure, but it's very possibly like quite a large harness decoration for a horse. You can see a sort of dotted outline all the way around the outside, and what looks like to be sort of circles. There's a cross on it. There's definitely some gold gilding on there as well, so this thing would have been really shiny and nice looking, which is what you would expect a nice horse harness decoration to be. So these are slightly different to horse brasses. So if you think about the horse brass that Mr. Tweed found earlier, it's as a much later type of thing. Yes, they were both meant to go on the strap and be seen, but the ones that Mr. Tweed found earlier are more for the identification of the horse, not so much heraldry, whereas these types of things here are much more ornate, a lot more intricate, and it's kind of bling for your horse, really. And it's basically saying that this horse is owned by somebody who's really wealthy, quite important, maybe a landowner, or has got a good job, a good sort of income. So potentially this could be quite old. It's got gold gilding on it, and it has got quite a lot of copper, although it is a copper alloy. So I would say that this is maybe 1500s, 1600s, but it could be earlier. I am no expert in this type of thing, and I'm only really kind of 90% sure that it is that type of thing, but it's really interesting nonetheless. It's a really cool little find, and yeah, it's kind of what you come out for, these little things like this. So I'm going to take it home and clean it up a little bit more and see if I can get any more information from it. And of course, if I do, I will put it on the video for all of you. But there we are, guys. A nice thing, but a decorative thing, that was once covered in gold. Oh, okay guys, so we're now at the end of another wonderful day metal detecting. The sky has been blue, it's been a little bit windy, but it's just been an absolutely glorious day to be outside today. Complete contrast to yesterday where it was just raining so much and super windy, which I think we had like the tail end of a storm or something. So yeah, it was like the calm after the storm today. Truly blissful day to be out. And we found some pretty interesting stuff. Obviously, you know, the silver coin was quite a nice little find for the first signal, and the jetton, as well as some buckles and some other little bits. Pretty cool. So Tom from Bigfoot Finding, he shot off a little bit earlier today, and Sam went about an hour ago. So I've just been pottering around on my own for the last hour, just seeing if I can wrinkle anything out really. And yep, now it's time for me to go. So that just leaves me to say, guys, thank you very much for watching my videos as always. And if you have enjoyed them and you want to see some more, then hit subscribe. It's completely free. It's a button down below, and it just means that every time I upload a new video, you guys will see it first. And of course, if you have enjoyed this permission today and you want to see me come back, then drop a thumbs up as well. That definitely means a lot. But anyway, guys, that's enough for today. I'll see you all on the very next video.